Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Average Gentleman's Podcast. We've been away for a little while, and we're coming back with What's in Your Cup. What do we got? Around the room.
All right, I'll go first. Switching it up, non-alcoholic today, having a cup of coffee.
Seeing as it's, I'll go next, I guess. Seeing as it's that time of year, I'm currently drinking a wonderful Oktoberfest by my company, Blue Point.
Oh, yeah. Didn't you have some kind of event this weekend?
Oh, my God. I was out in Mountain Creek for 2 days. They had their Oktoberfest up there. Saturday, they had 10,000 people there. On Sunday, they had 5. We sold through 5,000. 5,000.
Oh, I think you said
10,000 and 5,000, respectively, right. Saturday and Sunday.
That's a big drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 guys showed up. We were just standing there circle jerking, But we sold through in my products from Blue Point. We did 8 half barrels, which is your normal size keg, and 29 sixtels. So we pumped
What's
through.
A sixtel?
That's those little slim, skinny ones that you can see like in a lot of smaller kegs and shit. They're based. So a sixtel is roughly 1/3 of a half barrel, which is the big one that you think of when you think of a keg.
Okay.
So 3 of those equal 1/2. So 30 of them, so that's 10. We sold roughly 18 kegs in 2 days.
It's a lot of beer.
Just of my beers, not counting everything else that was there from every other company. So they sold a shitload of beer.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah. And, we had our boat bar there, which is awesome. It's an old Chris Craft that we converted into put a kegerator on it, and we poured the beers right off the boat. Yeah. So it's a real big eyepiece. It's really fucking cool.
Nice.
So, that's what I was doing up there.
Very nice. Well, coming back to me, I'm just drinking actually just regular ice water today. No drinks for me. I'm kind of a little recovering from being sick. So, yeah, it sucks.
It happens, man. It's that time of year. Kids are getting school again. They're fucking germ factories.
Well, it's not just that. So I just got back from Chicago and that fucking flight.
Yep. If you don't take the airborne the right time, you're fucked.
Yeah. So I came back. I got sick and kind of screwed up my week. But hopefully next week I'll be able to get back to some vodka, some rum, or whatever. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, on that note, we got some Apple talk going on.
Oh, we all got
what did Apple
new
do
toys
this week?
Yeah. So
what happened with Apple?
Well, we all know. Everyone just got their new iPhones. All right, my first initial impression.
So which model did you get?
All right, so I got the green iPhone Pro Max.
Okay.
And I mean,
can I see the green? I haven't seen the green.
Yeah, the green's not bad.
I got the space gray iPhone Pro, the small one, not the Max.
And I got the space gray Pro Max.
Yeah, so the green is actually it's cool. It's a little different. It's got like more of like this camouflage green color.
That's sexy.
It's not bad. It's actually it's kind of interesting how they swapped it up a little bit. But I wanted the green initially from the start because I wanted it to be different, obviously. But that's the thing, right? So it looks exactly like almost like the space gray. I mean, it's just a little hint,
which is nice.
Yeah.
It's nice.
It is.
It's subtle.
It is.
You catch the light just right in it. It looks really fucking sexy, man.
Right. So
I love the backs.
Well,
of these phones.
Did you guys see the thing I sent you from Jerry Rig Everything?
I didn't look at it. No, I'm not.
So that guy, he has his YouTube channel.
Was this the one with the?
I know who he is. I've watched the show before.
Yeah. What's that?
This the one from dropping the phone?
No. So there's another one after. So that guy, what he does is he takes. His whole thing is he takes things apart to see how they're comprised of and how much toughness there is in the glass and all this other stuff. So he's got like these picks at the different hardest levels and shit like that.
It's what jewelers use to measure. It's how they tell if a diamond is actually a diamond.
Exactly right. Mm-hmm. So what he was doing was at least on the back glass. Or I mean, all over the phone really. He was kind of seeing how hard like the back glass was. And he was seeing that like his razor blade, the back glass was actually doing damage to his razor blade because it's kind of like almost like a very fine like sandpaper. So he had to go, I think like the hardness level like 8 or 9 for it to actually kind of leave a scratch. And he was
Holy shit.
Yeah, and he was showing that how keys and like coins were rubbing up against the phone, and you'll see like a mark where it looks like it's leaving a scratch, but you can actually just rub it off.
Yeah.
And so what's happening is when the metal is rubbing against the glass, it's just leaving the residue and it's like it's really just kind of taking off of the coin itself or the metal itself.
It's
and
insane.
It's like, all right, that's not bad.
Well, that one video you sent with the drop test.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
I mean, we're all fanboying right now, but yes, I mean the drop protect.
You can't see how hard my dick is right now?
Not the hardness. What do you want to call it? The toughness, I guess, of the phone.
Shatterproofness,
The shatterproof, yeah. So far, what we've seen has actually been pretty good.
That if that video is any indication, it was like he had to take it
Up on a ladder,
Yeah.
high to drop it.
10 feet, 11 feet, 12
And
feet.
it only broke when they hit each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the only time they broke that he showed it was when the phones hit each other. It's like, well, maybe the phones are strong enough to break them, not the ground.
Yeah. So there was.
But I think that's more because if you watch the video and how they were falling flat. Like if you draw like the smaller the surface area that's hitting, the
He hit
device.
corners on that shit, man. He was. If you watch the video, the couple of them, he hit the
But I'm
corners
saying,
on it.
I think if you drop something from that height onto the phone with a small surface area, I think you're
Yeah, but that's
crack
not,
it.
but I'm not worried about that. That's not my concern. My concern is if I'm on a ladder and the fucker falls out my pocket. I'm not planning to drop a hammer on my phone that I have up as a light on the ceiling or something, you know?
Yeah. I mean, so there was another video I saw from, I think maybe it was from CNET. And what they were doing was they had basically like a vacuum attached to an arm. And they would just it would hold the phone in place at different heights, same concept, different height level, 3, 6, 10, and whatever. And
Just a fancy rig to do it.
exactly. They would just essentially pull the plug on the vacuum and just watch it drop. And at that test, I think at 11 or 12 feet is when. So there was no actual break on the glass, but the screen itself had like two, let's say, screwed up pixels, and then maybe on one of the phones the camera stopped working. But
That's
still,
12 fucking feet.
that's
the
pretty,
average.
That's
Like
pretty
the
good.
average drop can't be more than what
6
2
feet, 6 feet, 3 feet. Like,
No,
height,
but, like,
height,
I'm
waist
thinking-
level,
Yeah,
and
I'm
ear
thinking
level. Right?
you take it out of your pocket and you drop it. Like
That's probably 90% of the phone drops.
Yeah.
So it's what 2-3 feet.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's sick.
No, but then even like ear height, right? You know, some
Yeah.
5 to 6 feet, let's say,
Yeah.
for the most part.
Well, I didn't get the screen. So the last two phones I've got, I paid for that glass screen protector they had there, like
Yeah.
the $60 screen protector.
Well, that's dumb paying $60. But go ahead.
What was it?
I said that's dumb paying $60 for a screen protector for a glass one, essentially.
Yes. So the reason why I didn't get it this time was because I had a different problem with my phone. Remember when I had the water and everything?
Yeah, yeah.
And I found out it's only $30 to replace the glass in the screen.
If you had
Wait.
Apple Care.
I pay for the Apple Care
Yeah.
with my thing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why am I going to spend $60 for a screen when I can just go get a brand new one from Apple for $30?
True.
So that was my thought process. I'm just got the case because I'm a firm believer in cases.
Yeah. I mean, I got the case also. I didn't get the screen protector yet, but I don't normally get a
I'm not getting one this fall.
I
I
don't-
don't think I'm getting one.
I don't normally get a $60 one. I normally get one that's like a
The one you put on yourself.
well, I put it on myself. It's a $10 pack and it's a 2-pack.
Yeah.
And like so on my X, I've had that screen protector since I've had the phone, and I've dropped it plenty of times with the case that it's on, and that one is never broken. But my wife,
Is it glass? The one
It's
you have
glass.
on?
It's glass.
I broke the glass one on there.
well, that's the thing. That's what I'm getting at. My wife has the same had the same phone that I had, and she's dropped hers. Not only did she break the glass, but she also broke the glass on the phone.
So I only broke the glass on the screen protector, and I was in Disney. I lost my mind. I'm like, oh, I'm like broke my phone, and then so
Then you take it off
I take
and
off the
then
screen
go.
protector. I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
happy again.
Yeah. But so far, all right. So the durability of the phone, I have to say, is pretty good so far.
Yeah.
And
From
I
what
was-
I've seen, again, we haven't tested this shit ourselves, but from what we've seen, yeah.
But with all the YouTubers that I've been kind of following over the years and kind of checking them out, that they've been doing like their own tests, they've all been saying. I mean, mind you, maybe they're getting some kind of pay from Apple or whatever.
I think
but
they had to be given the phone by Apple.
no, they weren't given the phone. Some of them actually went out
But
and
even
bought
if they are getting paid,
But how? But like you.
we're watching them drop it.
Yeah, no, right.
Yeah. So what if they're going out and buying the phone out of their own pocket and dropping?
Yeah, dude, that's some of these people's
Well,
channels are specifically just that alone.
But that's my point. What's it costing him? He dropped the guy who we watched the video with. He dropped 2 phones, right?
Oh yeah,
He goes to Apple now. It's going to cost him $60 to get brand new screens on his phones.
he doesn't bring them back to Apple to repair. He hangs them up on his wall as like trophies.
But he could.
He could, right. But so he's got like every single phone.
He's making
I
like
guess, I guess it makes what you're making off of doing
the channel's
the
paying
channel
for
itself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Those are business write-offs.
Right.
I'm not going to go and drop my phone 12 feet.
Oh, of
because
course.
nobody cares if I drop my phone.
Right. Nobody gives a shit. Oh shit. Sorry. So yeah. So these guys are just kind of like, you know.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. These guys are whether they're getting paid or not, they're still. It's got a brand new phone.
I hope they're
Opening
getting
the
paid.
box.
Get that cheddar, man.
Yeah. Right. So they're dropping these phones and they're doing this thing, and we're seeing how durable they are. So far, what I haven't seen is anyone taking it in the water or taking it, you know, to see how durable that is. That'll be actually a good test for you, Joe, because you like to make phone calls in the shower and whatever. So
Yes.
we'll see how that works.
I've been using it in the shower.
We'll see how that works over the next few months compared to your XS. But one thing I do have to say is the cameras. The cameras are
Cameras are awesome.
Oh my God.
nice. I mean,
I can't wait for the new software they're releasing that you can record with all 4 of them at once.
yeah, it's not out yet.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think November, they said. November, December. They
Yeah.
said this year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, actually, no. The app is out. It's just they need to update it, and you have to pay for the app.
I will pay.
Oh yeah, it's like $5. But so I was in my office not that a couple days ago when I had the phone, and you know I work on I guess I'm gonna say a higher floor in the Empire State Building. Took a picture, you know, posted it out on Twitter, tagged our Twitter name, Average Gens Podcast, and
I'm sure our listeners have seen it.
I'm hoping so. And
If you haven't, go look for it.
and you know, I tagged the Empire State Building, and then they retweeted it. You know, it's hey.
That was a dope picture, too.
It was a really nice picture. I actually took a second one and I posted it out again and I tagged them in it, but they didn't retweet this one. So this one actually, so the first one was just the city. I mean, and it was with the ultra wide camera, and it was fucking
that
nice.
lens is so nice.
It's like having like a GoPro in your pocket, but not having to carry one around. Right?
Yeah.
But a little bit less of a fisheye, I want to say. It's still the ultra wide, but
It's
less than the
120. I think that the GoPros go a little farther, like 135 or something. I want
Something
to say.
like that, yeah. But yeah, it was a really nice picture, and I was like, I gotta post it out. So I did that. I mean, dude, 12,000 views in a day. That's actually pretty sweet.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I'll be in the city tomorrow for work, so I'm going to
Yeah, try that
get
out.
some
right?
time.
yeah.
And
So I can't complain about it. I mean,
Low light features, or have you played with low light
I
yet?
haven't played with that yet.
I was sitting outside my front porch at night the other night, and like I'm looking at my car, and my car's white, and it's like dark, so it looks like it's gray now.
Yeah.
I put the phone on, and it doesn't work in the wide angle. But if you're on the 1 or 2, if you're on regular cameras,
Yeah.
it is like it makes what you're looking
Total
at
difference. Yeah.
It's like it's better than my own vision in the camera.
That's funny.
Like, you know, like when you take a picture with at night with your camera, and like you see it, like, oh, I can see it perfectly, and the
Yeah.
camera's like, I don't get dick.
Yeah.
This new low light feature they got in there, it was better than my own vision with
That's
the
pretty-
camera.
Yeah. I mean, they're doing something right with the camera. I mean,
Well, they got 3 of them now. That's how they're able to do it.
yeah,
They
but
can,
most of the people have. I mean, most of the cameras now or phones now have 3 cameras. Also,
that's true.
I mean, I haven't messed with the Galaxy Note or the S10 to see how they work, but I mean,
You know, people bitch about Apple coming out with things late, and they're behind it with NFC. They're behind it with the cameras. But you know what?
it doesn't matter when they do it.
they're better.
They perfect it.
Yeah, they do.
So
it much better.
they don't jump into the water until they know the experience is going to be what they want.
Right.
Which is what I hated about Apple before now, and now I fucking love it because
because you know you're gonna get it.
I know-
you know,
yeah,
you
really
know
good.
you're getting a quality.
I don't need
product.
to hunt for that app that makes my Galaxy work better.
Right.
You know, Apple tells me just use our native app now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No, it's so far. I mean, it's been pretty good. I can't really complain about it.
battery life is
better.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Battery life, I do
Big
have to say, is huge improvement, and fucking LTE speeds.
Fuck
So-
you guys.
So,
Fuck you guys.
so we were texting back and forth for a little while, and I was headed into New York City, and I ended up getting 140 down with like 14 up, meaning like it's more than half of what my internet speed is at home.
Okay, to put this in perspective, for anybody that's over the age of 35, because that's my age, the original modems we used to connect to the internet with back in the day were when the 28.8 BPS modem came out and then 56K, we were like, oh my God, 56K, that's a kilobyte. We're talking about fucking
Hundreds
gigs.
of
Yeah. Yeah,
Well, megabyte.
megabytes,
Yeah,
megabytes,
Megabytes.
which is hundreds of thousands at this point, essentially, of what we used to. Like, have you? So off subject. Have you ever watched Hackers, the movie with Angelina Jolie and
Long time. I haven't seen that in a really long time. Yeah.
watch it now? So the movie itself
could
is
only
still
imagine.
good,
I could
but
only
like,
imagine.
yo, it's got a 28 BPS modem. It's lightning fast, man. You know, like the refresh rate is like, I'm like, oh my, like the way they're talking about, again, the state of the art of their time
Yeah.
is now basically what your grandma has in her pocket when she has a flip phone.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
nuts. But I'm sorry, continue.
No, it's fine. I mean, but yeah, we were having this talk and this. I mean, not even a competition of what we were fucking getting.
Well, yeah, it wasn't a competition.
It wasn't. I mean,
We're men. Everything's a competition.
Because
Fuck
I smoked you guys.
yeah. I mean, you fucking ended up more than doubling my.
I had
speed.
280.
Jesus
I want to check
Christ.
the Photoshop. 280.
And I specifically took the picture of it with the LTE, so you didn't think I was on
Yeah,
Wi-Fi.
I know. But yeah, it was insane. I have never seen a phone like that. I mean, and that was off a Sprint. I'm like, when the fuck did the Sprint get so good?
Sprint's stepping up their game. They're merging with T-Mobile. T-Mobile, I believe, has a better network.
They haven't even done that yet. The merger hasn't happened yet. They're still in the works of trying to. I mean, people are still trying to stop it from happening.
Are they?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's not
it's not official yet.
Yeah.
But still, when the Sprint,
I would think
had
about,
Sprint.
I'm thinking about leaving Verizon if this happens.
I had Sprint years ago,
So did I.
and I mean,
It was shit.
I had Sprint before they even got 4G. When they said they had 4G, but they didn't have it, right?
Yeah.
And everything sucked. So I went to AT&T and I didn't look back. Now I'm looking at fucking Ray's phone and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I think I should go back. But yeah, I mean, that's one thing I have to say. I mean, it's not a 5G capable phone,
Yeah.
but these speeds are ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, from what I've seen so far, even in my house right now, what did I say? I got 79 off of,
yeah. It's still
LTE.
ridiculous.
I mean, that's probably faster. If I get a shitty Wi-Fi signal in this part of the house, that's probably faster than my Wi-Fi signal.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's insane. So I got to say, kudos so far. I'm really digging the phone. I'm really digging everything, all the features so far.
The face unlocks faster.
Yeah, I did notice
much
that.
noticeably faster.
And
Noticeably
it's so I used to have the mount in my car.
Yeah.
And I have it like on the air duct that's closer to my passenger seat.
Okay.
So I can kind of like angle it so I have a better view at it.
Yeah.
So the angle of the old phone, I couldn't, if I was sitting there, I had to kind of like either move my head over.
I had to be like perfectly in front of your face. Like you
Now
couldn't be
it's over here and it's unlocking my fucking phone.
Yeah, well, I think that's because obviously the
The
camera.
wide camera. Yeah, wide angle.
It's a wider camera. So, yeah, I can't complain. I'm really digging the phone. I mean, how do you guys feel? I mean, I don't know how much you guys play with it, but I've been playing with it.
I love it so far.
nonstop.
Did you play around with the slow mo front camera?
No.
I played around with it a little bit.
I did. The only thing I did was like, when you kind of like move your eyebrows up and down real quick. I just did that for like 3 seconds, and I was like, this is stupid.
I haven't played around with a whole lot of camera features yet. Just haven't had a second to.
Yeah. Portrait mode is really good. I mean, it's even better. So now with portrait mode, so you know how you get that blurriness in the background, the bokeh?
Mm-hmm.
You can actually go in and edit your photo to make it less blurry or more blurry, which is actually really cool.
Well, they put the editing in the app itself now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
they did a lot of things right with this phone.
Oh, yeah.
And I heard talks that the 12 is supposed to be like ridiculous.
Well, they're bringing it back to make that boxy, like almost like the 4S.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah, yeah. It's already been rumored and all that bullshit. So, I mean, it's got to match the iPads at this point.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Well, they might have different shapes now with the phones too, right? If they got the Pro model, they can make the Pro model line up with the iPads,
true.
and then they can have the R model, whatever they're going to call it, going forward.
It's no more R's. It's just going to be the regular
It's just,
Yeah,
12 or 11. Or
but
whatever.
they could roll out with another model too, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
There's nothing to stop them.
Yeah. What else was there? I wanted to say.
With Apple,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not in your head.
I don't know.
Couldn't have been that important.
Yeah, I guess not.
If it is, we can.
I got a killer price on it.
Yeah?
Less for this than I was for the 10.
Oh, well, there you go. I mean, that's even one more reason to upgrade.
I'm paying
initially I
the
was-
same.
Initially, I was going to debate between getting the 10s or the 11 based on the price, but they just they stopped the 10s. 'Cause
Altogether.
I think now you can only get the 8 and these 3. the 11, 11 Pro, and
Yeah, I
11
think
Pro
they stopped-
Max.
'cause
They stopped the 10s.
Yeah, they removed it from their
Yeah, like
website
the 8,
altogether.
the 8 is like their low end
Low end,
model,
yeah.
and yeah.
Well,
So
I think they're keeping the 8 around. I think they're keeping the 8 around too because it is the last phone with a button.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that it was my wife was one of them.
She
that
wanted to keep it.
She didn't want to get a new phone because she didn't want to have to lose the button.
Yeah.
What my wife doesn't like about the Face ID, and like it annoys me sometimes too, is when like you have your phone flat on the desk and you want to unlock it, you can't just fingerprint it. Like you have to pick it up to look at it,
Oh, I never tried.
or you have to mess with it until you get the PIN code.
Yeah, well, I never tried. To tell you the truth. I mean, I think that part that really doesn't bother me. I really doesn't care.
I'm sure we're only like 1 or 2 generations before they're able to put the fingerprint
Yeah.
scanner in the
All over
screen
the-
itself.
yeah.
As, the
Oh
whole
yeah,
screen
I mean
is
they
a
have that.
scanner.
They have that now in one of the Galaxy phones or something like
That's
that.
what I'm saying. We're
Somebody
only 2
has it.
generations
Yeah.
away before that's going to be in
Well,
there.
it just like how we were talking before. They want to perfect it, right?
Yep,
So we'll see how that goes.
which
I
I'm
mean,
fine with.
Yeah, no, I have no problem waiting for it. I mean, in the beginning, it was kind of like, oh, well, you know, Android has all these cool features, but then as the years went by and you see how these features were getting much better from when Apple came, right? They didn't invent the wheel, but they made it better.
Oh yeah,
You know, so
but again, I know that if you had talked to me back in 2001 when I graduated high school, I wouldn't have told you that the iPhones are going to be this fucking crazy, right? But where else can they fucking go? Like, what's the next step in a phone?
oh, who knows? I really don't know.
Like, what else could they possibly do? Project 3D?
Yeah, they probably do some. I mean,
eventually, right?
right.
But like, that's the thing. Like, we've reached a point now where
Well, look at the phone now and think back 10, 15 years.
No, but,
ago.
like, so, like,
do you
well-
think like some of the features now? Could you have imagined?
even go back
that?
3 years ago, back before the iPhone had the wireless charging, right? And all the Samsung's phones had it, and all the Droids had it, right?
Yeah.
I can't think of I'm not saying that I can predict the markets, but I can't think of many other things that I need in this phone right now that would be worthwhile,
Yeah.
other than just improvements on existing technology they have. Like, I don't know what's the next step. We already can make the phone talk to things wirelessly.
Yep.
We can, and I'm talking like the NFC shit and all that, right?
Yeah.
What?
Well, not just NFC, Bluetooth, the whole nine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like we connect to it. Our cars connect. Our phone, our house connects. I don't think. I think the next steps are going to be outside of the phone. I think we've kind of reached the phone's full potential.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's a metal water bottle. We get sounds.
I don't think it reached its full potential. There's going to be a new technology that comes out where it's going to be the next big thing.
There's always going to be that.
There's always going to be that, and that's what's going to get incorporated into the next new phone, the next new thing.
But I don't think it's going to be something. It's going to be peripheral. It's going to be a watch that's going to actually do something. It's going to be
the watches do that now.
A pair of glasses you put on that's going to have augmented reality.
They
do have that.
They had that.
Well, yeah, it's not released, but they are.
It's not perfect. We're not there yet.
It's not perfected, right?
Correct.
Well, you're saying it's not Apple perfected, right?
It's not even general user perfected yet.
Yeah.
The 3D technologies.
No, but like
you see those
the watches, right? So the Apple Watch, like I think now you don't need your phone to be
don't.
tethered to it, right? So you can just not live on the Apple Watch, but for your everyday needs, if you forget your phone, you have your watch.
That's my point. I think that the next big step, in my opinion, is going to be away from the handset that we're used to right
It's
now.
possible. It's possible.
Just because there's nothing, I can't think of something you can't do with that already.
I mean,
to be added on to.
The next thing, I mean, I don't think it's gonna be next, but in the future, did you watch the new Total Recall?
The one with
Colin Farrell, yeah. Did you see how they do the phones? How they
don't
use
remember.
it's like an implant in their hand, and you almost can make like.
But that's my point. It's not a phone anymore.
No,
It is-
that's the phone.
Yeah,
that's the phone. It's
but
implanted in
it's
your
not.
hand.
It's not the device that we're holding in our hands right now.
No, because the device is it is the device. It is the device, right? But it's in your hand rather than being a physical piece of hardware.
But
The hardware is in your.
It's
in
an
your body.
added. But it's a
peripheral to your body, though. It's a peripheral to your body. Not,
But it's
I didn't see the movie, but it's something that they actually insert into your hand.
they insert into your hand.
They put like a speaker on your.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think people are going to get the upgrade every year when something they actually have to go into their hand to replace it?
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be some people that fucking do it.
Yeah, some, not everyone.
But by the time we're biohacking, we're going to be at a point where it's going to be like
Like an everyday
it's
thing.
real easy.
It's going to be an everyday thing.
It's easy for me to upgrade my phone when I get the new phone in the mail, and I just you put them next to each other. It does the transition, and then you're done. Then as opposed to having to dig a chip out of my hand and replace it.
Well,
but they're not going to implant. So they don't need to implant anything more in your hand than a speaker and a microphone, right?
No, they're going to implant. They would have to implant the whole something.
Basing it on the
movie.
Total Recall.
Okay,
he was talking into his hand.
Yeah,
like this, right?
Just like that. Yeah, with the thumb and the pinky.
The only thing you need in there is a microphone in your pinky and a speaker in your thumb.
But you also need the motherboard and your some kind of memory card to hold whatever information that you need. And at the same time,
it doesn't need to be implanted though. It could be part of your watch. It could be
true.
With technology.
True, but the way the movie had it was like that was your thing. Because at the same time, you can actually walk.
So
up
why
to
is something in your hand? Why not a glove?
Well, that was the thing. At the same time, you can walk up to anything and place your hand like on a screen, and then you get in a video of like almost like a FaceTime from any screen that you're at.
But even with that, all you need with that then is super fast connectivity and a RFID chip in your hand, and it can upload your computer into that computer, right?
You should patent that.
Yes, I should. But again, that's my point. Is that like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. All right, let's move on from the Apple talk because
we could do this all fucking night.
Yeah, we can really do it. And we're like 20 something minutes in.
Okay.
So we had a couple trips. Oh, actually, you have a story about what happened to your son.
Before the trip. So I guess what's today? Wednesday.
Poor kid. Yeah.
So 3 weeks ago tomorrow, my son, being my son, was upstairs at the top of the stairs, just finished showering. My father-in-law was downstairs. He leaned over to say, "Good night, Papa," and ended up rolling down the stairs, 12 steps, landed on his right shoulder, and broke his collarbone.
Jesus. And he's how old?
He turned 4 on Monday. So 4. And so
guy.
we broke his collarbone. We're sitting there. And,
well, no, not we broke his collarbone.
Well, yes, I didn't. This was an accident.
He did it all on his own.
Yeah. Boys will be boys.
We don't need DIFUS coming to take your wage up.
Boys
if they want to come look at my house. I like again. Did we talk about this before? I don't know if it was here
on the show. I don't think we talked about it. No, but we talked about it.
Yeah, but like, if you want to come and investigate me and you want to go through my house and look at it, talk to people about me, go ahead. Because you know what? The one time they don't do it to somebody is the one time that kid is being abused and being hurt.
Yeah.
So
listen, you can turn your head for a split second and something can happen to you.
100%.
Of course.
Like
he's a boy.
It's happened to all of us.
I'm shocked that it took him till he was 4 to get hurt because he's a fucking maniac. I love the kid to death, but he's got one speed. 10, maybe 11.
Now you know what to expect in the coming years.
I know. So he broke his collarbone. We took him to the ER that night. And then we next day took him to his doctor, took him to the specialist. They're like, there's nothing we can really do. He's 4, and they're like, with kids, the analogy that my doctor and that both of the bone doctors we saw, one for his first visit, who was the actual doctor, and then a PA for his follow-up, all said the exact same sentence. That like, okay, with kids, as long as the bones are in the same, or as long as this bone is in the same room as each other, they're like, it's going to heal.
Okay.
They said there's no casting on it. The brace, they said that there's been studies that keeping it immobilized versus not, keeping it in a sling or a figure 8 brace as my son wears, or not using it is like 51 to using it and 49 to not using it. So it's like, there's no need for the brace. Yeah. They're like, it's basically to keep them aware, to let other people know, and then also to kind of keep it the pain from bothering him, because it kind of keeps the bone like. So what a figure 8 brace is, it basically looks like he's wearing 2 backpack straps.
Okay, and
it has they connect with Velcro in the back and the middle, so it kind of forces your shoulders to be upright, like, and
pin
be
back kind of thing.
So it forces good posture. Which,
I was just gonna say that sounds like it could be used for good posture.
Yeah, that's what it really is. So it's basically just keeping his shoulders back, so that way the
bones kind of stays in place, and
that's not even a concern with it. It's more just because if it moves, it's going to be painful to him.
Gotcha.
It doesn't need to stay in place to heal because the way it heals. But yeah, so he's doing great with it. He's like I said, in 3 weeks we were in Disney.
So here's a question. So how was he the first week? Like
By day 3, he was fine.
yeah, okay,
So like when it happened, like again, so I knew immediately it was broken.
yeah,
My wife was like, well, let's wait a little bit, give it like an hour, put some ice on it, maybe it's just a bruise. And the way he was crying and the way he reacted when I touched his shoulder, I just knew that it was broken.
Yeah.
And I said to my wife, let's get in the car, we'll drive to the ER. And yeah, the doctor's like, yep, it happens.
yeah.
So
Yeah, there's nothing you can do.
he said he broke his collarbone when he was little. We saw a bunch of people online at Disney, and one guy's like, collarbone? We're like, yep. He's like, yeah, I broke mine a couple times when I was a kid.
That's funny. I don't really know anybody that broke their collarbone.
It's apparently
I mean, yeah,
I see it in sports.
I can see it. Yeah, and
it's a very common injury.
like football, or basketball, even
And
right.
collarbone took Tony Romo out for me a bunch of times.
Yeah, fuck Tony Romo.
Cowboys 3-0.
Yeah, well, fuck you.
So how was the Disney trip with him? Was he okay with the walking? Oh, well, he probably had the stroller or something.
He walked a lot of it too, and we had the stroller. We had to change a lot of the rides. Like we had the Slinky Dog ride, and we had some of the roller coasters. He loves the Seven Doors Mine Train. We couldn't do it. So the doctor said he could. The doctor said that if he was on the roller coasters, like it's not gonna make his injury any worse if he went on the roller coaster.
But it could be a little painful.
That's what they said. It's gonna hurt.
It's the pain. It's the pain tolerance.
Yeah, and you're in a place where you want to have fun. You don't want to be in pain. So
And this is like the first real trip he's going to really remember.
and you don't want to drug him up at the same time.
We were just Advil.
But still, you don't want to over medicate, right? If he's in pain, and then
He's gonna be drowsy and then he's gonna get cranky, and then
you're causing more pain, and it's not
So we gave him Advil when we were in Florida, 1 dose in the morning before we left every day, and then when we got back on Tuesday, I didn't give it to him Wednesday. So he basically took Advil for a week, roughly.
Yeah.
But so we couldn't do like the big rides you liked, but so we did some other really cool shit this time. Bigger stuff too, like we did stuff this trip that people will do once every 3 trips, and we did like 4 of those things. Like,
So it's good.
it was awesome. So we did like a Pirates firework cruise that we did one night. So we got to meet Captain Hook and Smee and Peter Pan.
Nice.
And then going on a fireworks cruise. We had dinner with Snow White and Grumpy, Dopey, and the Evil Queen one night. We went to the Halloween party where we got to meet all 7 dwarfs. We went to Star Wars Land where he built his own droid and where I built my own lightsaber.
Nice.
Like, it was a big trip.
Did you take the droid home?
Yeah, oh, he has it at home. He built a BB-8 and my wife built a R2-D2.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
So those are the 2 models. You can build a BB or an R2.
How packed with Star Wars?
It wasn't that packed.
No.
A lot of people are waiting until both rides are going to be open in Disney. So only the Millennium Falcon ride's open right now. The Rise of the Resistance, like the queue, we walked past the queue and we saw it, but the ride isn't opened yet.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are waiting until, I think that ride's supposed to open either late this year or early next year.
And then it's going to be packed.
And then even more people are waiting until 2021 because it's Disney's 50th anniversary.
Oh, wow. So it's going to be like a fuck.
Yeah, so 2021 is going to be a shit show in Disney World.
Yeah.
And then next year's probably going to be crazy too when both rides are open in Star Wars Land. But I'm getting chills thinking about it right now. I grew up with Star Wars. Like, it was one of the first movies I remember watching with my dad and all that. Like, I went and saw everyone, even though the prequels were kind of shitty. Like, the first Star Wars film I saw in a movie theater was Episode 1. So even though it didn't hold up to 4, 5, and 6's quality, it still has a special place in my heart because of that.
So, yeah, it's
sentimental.
It's your childhood thing. Yeah.
And just walking down and seeing the Millennium Falcon life size when
now it's all they have the ability to make it as lifelike as possible.
No, but it's insane. I'm getting, dude. Can you see the goosebumps?
Yeah,
seriously, look at the goosebumps. You're walking down there and it's insane. And we're building this lightsaber, me and my father-in-law, and I look over at him and I can see he's holding back tears too because he watched Episode 4, 5, and 6 live, in the 70s, so it was insane.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. I mean, it's something from your childhood or
the only thing
or his youth, and it's he's got to do it.
Yeah, and the only things we didn't do was we didn't do the Millennium Falcon ride.
Yeah,
just because of Joey again and everything. And we didn't feel like waiting on the. It was only I think it was the longest wait we saw on that was 55 minutes. which is
not terrible.
nothing.
That's not
terrible.
Peter Pan is always 75
Oh, my
minutes.
Yeah.
For Peter fucking Pan. Like,
I took my son. My son wanted to go on Peter Pan. So one ride he wanted to go on. Got to the line. It was like 35 minutes. Like an hour and a half later, my wife is looking for me, and and she had my phone, so she couldn't even contact. She couldn't even contact me. And like, because you know how Peter Pan is. Like you come to a certain point where you can see the outside again. She's standing out there and she's yelling at me. I'm like, what do you want me to do? He's standing here behaving, not throwing a tantrum or anything. Like, I'm not taking him off the line.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, just go do something else, and I'll find
figure it out.
I'll find you when we're done.
Figure it out when you're.
That's probably because your other son like punched her in the face or something too, like, and you weren't there to engage.
Well, I'm glad
they're
you tripped.
waiting like an hour and a half, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I was almost like hoping he would start. He didn't want
So
to
you
stay
can
on
get
the
off
line
there.
anymore.
Only thing I didn't do, I'm pissed about, was we didn't go to Animal Kingdom. We only went to Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Magic Kingdom this trip because we were only there Thursday to Tuesday, so it was a shorter trip. Or we got in late. We left at like 8:00 Thursday night and got there late.
Yeah.
We're delayed too with the fucking storms, but whatever. So we didn't get to Animal Kingdom, which I really wanted to get to because so before I left for the trip, I was at 296.
Nice.
So I was pretty pumped because I figured I could fit into the Flight of Passage. Because the last time I was in Animal Kingdom, the Flight of Passage, which is that new Avatar ride that they have.
I haven't been on it, no.
So it's a new Avatar ride that you basically sit on the it's like a motorcycle you sit on and you're riding a Banshee is what the ride is. Mm-hmm. But the ride vehicle has a locking mechanism that pushes on your back to keep you kind of in this seat that moves around elevated, right? So the last time I was in Animal Kingdom, the seat didn't fit me because I was probably about 40 pounds heavier or so the last time we were there. And I was like, oh, I'm probably going to fit into this time, but we didn't fucking get there.
Oh,
and
next time.
Yeah. And then we got back from the trip. I was up to 308 again because I ate my weight in everything. And then as of this morning, what did I say? It was 298.6 is the picture I sent, I think, to our chat. So I'm back below 300 again, which is first time since college. I was under 300 pounds. So it's fucking batshit crazy. And so when you were in Disney with the Peter Pan ride, was that the longest line you had to wait on with your son?
Yes.
And was he so I know that your son is like my son and doesn't stand still.
No.
They're always fucking moving.
And he did.
Was it because
of time?
Was it because it was the Peter Pan ride, or was that the first, like, what made it different?
I don't know. I was shocked that he didn't throw a tantrum.
Because that's when you said that, like, I'm like, yeah, my son won't do that. Like,
I was shocked. I think he just really wanted to go on that ride, and it wasn't the first day. Like, he's been on it before, so
maybe he liked it for some reason.
Yeah, but no, that's really cool that well, not getting yelled at by your wife, but
Well, yeah.
We're used to that though. We're men, so.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm glad you had a good trip.
No, the trip was great. It was he was fine in the airplane.
Yeah.
JetBlue. We were on the flight home. We were on one of the new refurbished planes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you want to talk about a nice fucking experience, man?
Yeah.
All new leather seats. They have touchscreen like tablets on every seat to watch TV. They have at least 2 USB chargers per seat that you can charge shit with.
Okay, that's not bad.
They have one into the screen, and you can actually use your phone to navigate the screen. You can pair them together, and
that's pretty cool.
It's
that I haven't seen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just came back from Chicago, and I was there for work. It was more of like a trade show type of deal.
Never been to Chicago.
Yeah, I mean,
I've flown into the city and driven out, but never been anywhere other than the airport.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. It's only like a 2-hour flight. I mean, it's almost like going to Florida, right? So it wasn't that bad. For whatever reason, the day that I was coming in, though, it was really foggy, and like, put it this way, it was so foggy that when we got in the area, there was we were in a holding pattern for a little while because they said that there was so much fog that nobody could land. And at some point, they got the clearance to land, and as we're coming down, he's like, all right, we're landing. And we're like, all right. We literally got out of the fog and just like within 30 seconds touched the ground.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, holy fuck, we were that like close to the ground.
How long were you holding?
Half an hour. It wasn't terrible.
we got delayed. So we were flying home once, and I guess they were tracking storms that were supposed to be out of Newark area by the time we got up here. Well, they didn't. So we were circling Newark, trying to find a way to get in. We were circling so long they had to divert us to JFK.
Oh, Jesus.
Right? So we get to JFK, and I'm losing my mind. Like, how are we going to get home? Right, what are we doing? So we land in JFK, right? So I got my boy coming from Staten Island to come pick me up. So I was
Jesus.
texting because luckily the planes at this time had Wi-Fi already. Yeah. So I was able to text him. And he's like, yeah, I'll leave right now to come get you. It was like 10:30 at night, so it was going to be a quick 20, 30-minute ride for him to get me, and then half hour home to my house, and then 10 minutes back to his house because we were right by Staten Island. And we land in JFK, right? And they're like, okay, if you want to go off the plane, you can, but the storms have now cleared in Newark. We have to get some fuel. And we're going to fly the plane back from JFK to Newark because again, it was on JetBlue, and JetBlue, the way they designed their flights is they're, being an economy airline, they use every plane they have essentially.
Seriously?
So, So if a plane goes like JetBlue, so say United, right? Say they have 100 planes. They're only flying, say 75 of them at a time. So they have 25 in maintenance, backup planes, if an hour's hits for something or whatever. JetBlue operates, if they have 100 planes, they're operating 90 of those planes.
Fuck.
And the only planes that are down are planes that need servicing.
Yeah.
So that's why if you ever see like the cheaper, like the cheaper airlines, if you may have no weather that's affecting your flight where you're going or around you, but if your plane's coming from Chicago where there's fog and they're delayed and they can't take off, you're fucked because there's no other plane they can sub in, to backfill essentially.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah. It happened to my buddy down in the Bahamas. He got delayed for like 6 hours because, one plane got delayed in the thing and it was a cascading problem.
So on my way back from Chicago, well, I'll tell you about the story while I was in Chicago, but on the way back, my flight was something like 5 p.m. and we got delayed because they were working on something on one of the engines, right? And I mean, that's something you really don't want to hear, that they're working on the engine.
I disagree.
Really?
Because so if they're working on it, that means they're looking at it, right?
No, I get it. I get that they're looking at it.
They're putting newer, better things into it.
I don't know.
Like,
wait, I don't know. No. I don't know.
How do you know you're getting on a plane that needs to be looked at and it just isn't?
True, but there wasn't necessarily that they were replacing anything. I think they were just trying to fix something.
Did they replace the phalanging?
Yeah. So, but
phalange. We need a phalange.
So then they kept delaying us. Like let's say 2 hours. Every half an hour, they're like, we have to push back, fine. And then at one point they needed to test the engine, but they couldn't. So
because they were too close to the
No, it's not even that. So the next gate over, we just see a swarm of police officers coming, fire trucks and all that. We're like, holy fuck, what the hell's going on? Like a swarm. I'm talking about like 15 cars. And we're like, what the fuck is going on here?
You can't see it right now because we're not recording, but my eyebrows are as high as they can go.
Yeah. 15 cop cars, like 3 fire trucks, and we were like holy fuck, what happened? A plane pulls up, and then we're kind of everyone just like by the window just watching to see what's going on. And then what happens is you see a bunch of army people come up in uniform, and I guess a family, and they were taking off a soldier that passed away.
Yeah.
The coffin with the flag and everything. I mean, the whole thing was going on. And
it's fucking heartbreaking.
Oh, of course. I mean, I have a couple pictures. I didn't want to kind of post them out because, whatever. But I mean, it's something you've never really seen. Oh, I've never really seen in real life before. So it was very, very interesting. Very, kind of like, shit, man, this guy.
Emotional.
But,
what's even crazier? My dad, when he was a lieutenant, had to go and notify people. Like one of his duty assignments. Like again, he got assigned to the unit, and he had to go and notify. I think he had to do it like 5 or 6 times.
Wow.
Of something happening of death.
Yeah,
that's gotta be so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gotta be really rough.
But know what else I saw in the airport? Was Boeing, the big fucking gigantic plane they have, the 777 Dreamliner or whatever the number is on it.
No, I haven't seen it.
It was right next to the plane we were flying on, and it was like a Yukon Suburban next to a fucking smart car in size comparison.
Jesus.
Or Fiat, the little fucking small Fiat. It was, I'm looking at the plane. I'm like, babe, is that the big 777 or what? I don't know the number, but it was the Dreamliner by Boeing or whatever. And so I went over to the game. Like, is that the like? Oh yeah, that's it. I'm like,
holy fuck!
It like 2 floors. Like,
oh, I believe it. I mean, I haven't seen it, but I believe it.
Oh my,
Jesus Christ,
massive. But it only sat like. So the plane must have been
20 people.
No, so the JetBlue flight we're on, I think had I think the math was like 150 people on it, or 250 people, whatever it was.
Yeah.
The capacity on this wasn't even so. There's different configurations you can have on it because the way they design these things now.
Yeah.
You know, you've seen those fucking movies where the planes are crazy with the lounges.
Yes.
That kind of shit.
Yeah.
This is that plane.
Okay, yeah. But that's only for like first class or business class.
Correct.
But it's not for regular.
But they can configure them with different seat capacities.
Right. So top floor, let's say first class, business class. Bottom floor is.
I'm talking total seats, regardless of first class, whatever. Yeah. So, JetBlue has say 200 seats. The highest seat on this plane was only like 402. So it wasn't even like double.
Was it proportionately higher based on size?
I was expecting like, oh, this plane is so fucking big it can hold 600 people. But
it was only think about it. You're not really gonna. You're really gonna put 600 people on a fucking plane?
Why wouldn't you? I mean, if you're talking about cutting costs, right? That's the ideal scenario.
But how many times does that plane run a week?
But then you can't run it.
You have to factor in the fuel costs. Like,
that's like a once a week.
To hold up all that weight, too.
That's like a once a week flight.
No, once you. So the crazy thing about like planes and shit is that once you get airborne and the way they're that big ass plane that we're using today is cheaper to operate than the 747 we used 20 years ago because of
that I believe. I mean, technology alone. I mean,
correct. But if you can only fly one, so that being said, once you get into airborne, it takes a lot. Again, if I'm remembering my aerodynamics right from the fucking things I used to do in high school and college, because I did like projects on this shit, back in the day. Once you get airborne, it's much easier to stay airborne. Right? Do you ever hear when you're taking off, the jet engines are going fucking nuts, and then you get airborne, it's just kind of like chilling and cruising along. So once you get up there, that's a negligible difference, I feel.
Okay.
Between them.
Yeah.
So if you can operate one flight as opposed to 6 flights, you're cutting out crew. You don't need 6 pilots, you need 1 pilot.
Yeah.
Right? You're cutting out staff. You don't need, most JetBlue had 3 stewardesses, right?
Yeah.
You don't need, that's 3 times 6 is 18. You only need 18 stewardesses on this plane. Right?
Yeah.
So if you could, they would definitely want to, that's why we have all these, when you fly now, you're flying a lot more. Are you noticing that, okay, you might not be booking far enough out. Like we booked this flight, our flight time changed 3 times. Because they keep combining flights to make them full.
Okay.
So if they can fly it once, they're going to do that.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, I'll tell you what. So, shifting back to my Chicago story.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
No, it's okay, because we were talking about planes. It was Mexican Independence Day for like the entire week. And it was nothing.
It was a day for a week? Holy shit.
It was nothing but insanity. So
in Chicago?
Yeah, dude, it was
it's a big Mexican population there?
Which I didn't know.
It's a major city. It has to have a large Mexican population. Right?
So what was going on was at night there were like just these people going in droves with chicks sitting on top of their cars. They're honking their horns like nonstop. They're in a single line, and then they're like literally waving the Mexican flag out of their sunroof, out of their like hooked into like every part of their car, honking their horn, playing music, like, and then all the side streets. So then the cops are actually like diverting their parade traffic every single night from hitting like some parts of the city, and they're not doing anything about it. These guys were going down side streets. It was fucking like Tokyo Drift. Like souped up Mexican cars just drifting down side streets every fucking night for the entire week that we were there. It was insane. So one night we were coming back from like an event, like a party event kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like 11 o'clock, right? And we were taking like a shuttle bus. The bus had to stop a mile from our hotel because the road was blocked off by the police and the Mexican parade. and we had to just basically walk. And not get hit by a fucking
Drifting
Mexican drifter,
souped up
on
Civic.
no, not even a Civic, a fucking Chrysler 300, like souped up, like you wouldn't believe, like 22-inch rims, and this guy is like just like booking it and just fucking drifting down. Oh my god! I was like, what the fuck is? And I have
Poor
a
man's
friend,
Cadillac, the Chrysler 300.
I have a friend that lives in Chicago, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck is with this Mexican Independence Day? And he just laughed at me. I was like, dude, no, seriously, what the fuck? And he was just like, I don't know.
I thought that was Cinco de Mayo, though.
No.
See how I'm a ignorant fucking gringo,
Yeah,
I guess?
had no fucking. And then like we're asking people, it's like, what the fuck's going on there? Oh, it was Mexican Independence Day. Like it's an everyday thing. Like,
But no, like seriously, I don't. I
Like,
thought, what is Cinco de Mayo then?
I don't know. Compared to that, I have no idea. And it's
May 5th.
Even
Thanks, Ray.
no, but even then, at that point, here in this area, the Mexicans that we live with don't act like that. Dude, in where I'm living right now, where we are right now, there's actually a big Mexican population in this town. Big. Like I'm talking about, bigger than any other town that I've lived in. They're one of the most quiet people I've ever fucking lived with in this town.
You know, things is crazy. People are nicer in Chicago, in Illinois. That's what it is. We are assholes in this area. Think about that. If
They wouldn't get fucking by with any of that shit.
that's my point. Yeah, they're nicer Midwest. They're
I guess.
corn fed.
I don't know. It was insane. It was the most. I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
Like even the gangsters from back in the 20s. What was the fucking guy that was big from Chicago? Capone.
Yeah.
Even Capone was like. You hear stories about him now. It's like, oh, he was a good guy. Like.
All right, so I'm done with my Mexican story or my Chicago story. I do want to talk about before we go. Ray entered his first car show.
Yeah.
So
Did
we
you
got.
win? Did you win?
Give us some details. So it was you and your dad, right?
Yeah. So
All right, so go.
Yeah.
Into details.
So my father.
Start from the beginning.
Yeah, my father has a classic muscle car. He's got a '69 Shelby GT350 convertible.
I'm creaming my pants right now.
He's the original owner, fully restored. It's
What color?
It's red with yellow or gold racing stripes.
It's
No, it is a nice car. I've been in it. I've been in it 3 times.
it is the epitome of what you want as a Mustang.
Yeah.
There's only one car I can think of, in my opinion, that might be. Is that because what he has? Which one again?
The GT350.
He's in the 350. Okay. Yeah, that's the one then. Yeah. It's a Shelby too, right?
There's only about, I forgot the number.
It's Eleanor. Right?
No, Eleanor 67.
I thought he had a 67.
No,
69.
69.
Okay.
I've been friends with you for almost 20 years, and I've only been in the car 3 times.
I've never been in the car. I've seen the car.
Well, it's funny, but when I first started dating my wife, it was a good, I think, almost 4 years before she actually saw the car, because the guy who was restoring it took him that long to get all the parts.
That's right. I did forget about that.
So I kept talking about the car.
She's like, you're such a fucking bullshitter.
When the hell am I going to see this car?
She's like, why are you bullshitting me? He doesn't have his fucking car. She goes, we're already dating for 4 years. You don't have to lie to me.
So your dad bought that new? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, original owner.
Oh.
Yeah, it's awesome. All right, so go on with the show.
Yeah, so this was...
I'll be right back. I need to use the bathroom for a few minutes, guys. Can I get a picture of that car real quick?
Yeah.
Take the bathroom with me?
Sure.
Continue. I'm sorry.
So it was in town. They live in Secaucus. It was their second annual. They do a car show now. Second year. They got a lot of stuff for kids too. Like they had bounce houses. They had a petting zoo. They got a whole bunch of things. So I took my son, my oldest son, with me. For me, it was all sentimental. It was. I mean, like I don't have a show car, but. My car's a nice car.
Nice.
Like, yeah, you've also got a newer Mustang.
Yeah, so mine's a 2017 Mustang convertible. So,
I mean, that's generations right there.
Yeah, no, and I have a picture of myself, my son, and my father with the 2 cars. Like that was the purpose for me. Like that was what I wanted out of that entering.
I mean, your dad's been doing shows for a while.
He's got trophies up like.
Yeah, so I mean,
he owns one of the rarest cars in the fucking world.
He ended up he won first place for the Mustang category, and he actually he gave it to he gave the trophy to my son.
Oh, nice!
And his eyes just like opened up.
Oh, nice!
Yeah.
So I think maybe he realizes he's going to inherit the car.
Mm-hmm.
at some point.
At some point.
That's fucking awesome because like your son right now, like that's going to be like that's a
highlight.
That's a formative fucking memory, man. Like,
yeah, that's a highlight for him. And he's
Like-
what, 6?
Yeah.
oh, that's fucking that's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's gonna be a
I love
big
your dad. I want to go hug your dad right now, man. That's fucking awesome. tell him I said good work.
It was a good experience. It was hot as hell. I got sunburned that
Did
day.
you?
Yeah.
Well, it was what, a weekend, right? So it was it was
Yeah.
pretty hot this weekend. Yeah,
Yeah, fucking that picture was nice though. Very,
it was a good picture.
yeah, awesome, man. That's great.
So what did you win? Anything?
No, I didn't win anything. No,
He won the memory with his father.
I wasn't. Yeah, exactly. And that was the purpose of entering for me. And it's funny. Like he was saying, you should clean up this, clean up this. I'm like Dad. There were like Roush Mustangs from my year. There were other Shelbys from my year. I'm like, I'm not beating these cars. He's like, well, you never know. I'm like, I know, I get it.
Your dad,
But I will say I was nervous that I was going to look out of place, and I wasn't. Like there were other cars there that I felt
That were the same, yeah.
Not even the same. Like that, I should have been there before they were there.
yes, but your dad was concerned because with the car your dad has is. He's been the big dick in the locker room for a while now, right? With that car. Like, he was the 13-inch cock that was just popped out on the floor because he had that car.
That's a really good analogy.
Right? Like, the big dick in the locker room,
Comparing my father to a dick. Yeah, that.
No, I'm saying, it's a compliment. We all want to have the... Do you want a little fucking tiny dick? Do you want my Irish dick that I have over here? No, your dad had the 13-inch fucking Mandingo cock on him, right? And... So like he's been at the top of the pile. He's been the alpha. Okay, would you rather say he's been the alpha wolf for the last 30 fucking years?
All right, that's a better analogy.
I like big dick in the locker room better. All right,
We know you like big dick.
in my mouth. What? Big dick coming out of your mouth sounds dirty. Private Parts, no, great fucking movie.
Well, that's a good. That was a good experience for you and your kid. So, and congrats to your dad for winning first place.
Absolutely.
Nice. All right, so we got a few minutes left. We're bringing up a new segment. We're calling it "Be a Gentleman" or hashtag "Be a Gentleman," and that'll be going around on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. But our "Be a Gentleman" category goes to Joe today. And Joe, give us a story.
Well, so what we want to do with Be a Gentleman is probably give a little info on it because it's more than me just.
So that was one of our older segments that we used to do.
Gentleman of the week, Stuna of the week, right?
Yeah. And the struggle that we always ended up having, unfortunately, in the world that we live in, we struggle to find a gentleman of the week often, which is which is sad. So what we want to do here, the purpose of the Be a Gentleman segment and push and what we're trying to do here, we want to encourage people to go out and be a gentleman.
It's a grassroots effort.
Yeah.
It could be as big as you want, as little as you can go out and do volunteer
just something,
work.
Something as simple as
a smile.
For somebody.
You can be on a date and open the car door for your date. Like just
anything simple.
Like so this is the one we're going to do this week. We'll talk about mine, but I had a friend who she took the same light rail train every day and just smiled at the conductor as she walked past. And the conductor, one day she was walking past, the conductor jumped out and said, "Thank you for smiling. This is my last day on this route, but your smile every day made my day." Something as simple as that is what we're looking for.
That's as simple as you can get.
Just a smile. So the first one is going to be, I guess, me because I had a pretty good story. I was out on a trip home from Disney. We took an Uber to and from the airport because it's easier and cheaper than parking at the airport. And coming home, we grabbed an Uber and we got this gentleman. I can't remember his name. I don't even know if I should say his name. But he was a Afghani who had moved over to the U.S. in the last year. And he was telling me a story about his life on the way home because I'm not the person in the Uber that doesn't like talking to the guy. I'm an outgoing person. So I'll sit there. I'm like, how's your day going? And everything. So I'm sitting up front and we're having a nice conversation.
Just having a normal conversation.
Yeah. And, I was like, how you doing? And he's like, I'm not doing great. And I was like, well, what's going on? Just being concerned. And he starts to tell me this story, and again, coming from a military family and everything, moved me. And he said that he was an Afghani. He had a wife who was disabled at home. He had, I want to say 12 kids. It was either 12 or 13. I can't remember the exact number.
That's a lot.
Dude liked to fuck. But So he's talking about like how he was in Afghanistan, and I think all of his 12 kids were injured in the war at some point. His wife was injured where she was bedridden from the war. And not only was that, but he worked with the troops as like an intel and like an interpreter for them. So he worked with them for 12 years, he was telling me. And he had like shrapnel that he had taken in battle and shit. And so he's now over in the U.S. on this visa. However he's here, I'm assuming through the military he got over with his family. And he's telling me how he's struggling just to make ends meet on driving an Uber because he couldn't get a job because all these circumstances. I don't remember all the details, but it moved me so much that, you know, I told my wife, like, babe, I'm going to give him a big tip. She's like, yeah, go ahead. So I think our bill was like $22 to get home from the airport, and I just gave him a $30 tip. You know, I was just like, again, I know that it's small, but in my head, if it was the right thing,
that probably
to do.
made a big difference for him.
Made a big difference for him.
You know, he was saying that, you know, some nights he'll work. He told me he worked one night for like 12 hours. I mean, like $60.
Yeah,
like I was like, oh
that's rough.
God.
Yeah, 12 kids and
like
disabled wife, and this is what you're doing for. I mean,
and
listen, good for him that he's at least one of the guys that's out there trying to do a job and working, and rather than being a fucking a dude trying to collect unemployment or
100%.
Some kind of aid from the government or whatever.
He is trying to live the American dream, which was you come over here and you work and you make better.
Yeah.
You don't come over here to sit on the system and eat fucking government cheese.
Yeah.
You know, like, so.
No, he's trying to do something. So, I applaud him and I applaud you.
Yeah. You know, again, I'm not saying it to toot my own horn. We're using this as an example to, pay it forward.
Of an experience that, we experience, and hopefully to hear someone that's listening a story, and then we can kind of share and then kind of keep the movement going forward.
Tweet it out, hashtag be a gentleman.
It's a simple thing, and it doesn't need to be big, it doesn't need to be money, it doesn't need to be anything other than just being, giving us reasons to pause about the good and not the bad, and not hear about this asshole politician and Pelosi and Trump going at it with impeachments and this and that.
Yeah.
Just something to lift up our fucking morals. Because I feel
lift up the spirits and make everybody
remind
feel
everyone that there's good in the world.
Yeah.
And that we're all here for we should all be here for each other. White, black, green, yellow. Who gives a fuck? We're all fucking people. So that's me. That's what I'm saying. But
yeah. So that's where
on that heavy note, let's
wrap it up.
Yeah.
Well, thank you everyone for listening, and we're going to call it a night.
Please remember to like, comment, subscribe to our podcast on whatever form you listen to it. Give us feedback. Be a gentleman. Tag it in our posts. Please engage with us. We're doing this, to get away from our wives for an hour or so a week and talk about fun shit that we like, but we're also doing it because we want to engage with you, right? We want you guys to tell us we're fucking assholes when we're being assholes or we're doing something good. So, cheers.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
Yeah. Anything that you guys want to contribute, reach out. You know where to find us. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Gents Podcast. That's it.
That's it.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Night, everybody.